What is going on, guys? This is Astrum Sensei and welcome to my brand new action RPG series in Unreal Engine 5. So in this series we are going to be creating an action RPG from scratch, and we are going to make it almost a full playable game that's like a prototype for whatever game you want to improve out of it. And yeah, we are just going to be making all of the elements that we need for an RPG. If you haven't seen the introduction video about it yet, go check it out. There is a lot more information about the series over there, and I will be talking about the old project and how this one will be different. You know, for this one we are going to be using root motion, despite the fact that we are going to be using the Mixamo animations again. And I want to say that, you know, this is going to be like a slightly long journey, but I don't want it to take as long as the previous series. So this is like a remake that will probably just end after like 40 videos or 50 videos. So anyway, if you are looking forward to this series and you will be following it, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, as that would really help me. Also, one more thing I wanted to mention is that the patrons will be getting 5 videos ahead in this series. So if you go there and check it out, you can get 5 videos over the YouTube channel. So go check out the Patreon. Also, the project files will be there for reference, so you can just download them and reference, like use them as a reference. And I want to show you one more thing. It is the Maria character model that I have made using Vroid Studio. It's really like not anything special. I just made Vroid Studio, converted her to FBX, and converted her then to the Unreal Engine skeleton. And yeah, it's just fine. You know, it's not really the best, and that is because she doesn't have clothes. I actually had to export the clothes separately and then add them to the model, like to the character blueprint. However, if you are following this without a character model, you can just use the Unreal Engine skeleton or the Unreal Engine mannequin, and it will almost be the same. For example, if we turn off her pants, you can see that she has no pants. And yeah, this is just her. So I'm going to be using her, but if you use the mannequin, it should be almost the same. If you want to get access to her, you can just get the Patreon files. So anyway, you want to start by creating a brand new third-person project, and I called it Astrum Sensei Action RPG. And I didn't add the quality, I didn't add the starter content. The quality preset is maximum. And yeah, that was it. I just created the project and just added Maria to the default third-person character, and we are going to be using it as a base. We are not going to be starting from scratch with a brand new character blueprint. So anyway, let us go to Mixamo, and I will show you that I downloaded animations. So for this series, I'm actually using the Unreal Engine mannequin and not really the Unreal, I'm not really using the Mixamo skeleton, and that is because the Unreal Engine mannequin will just help you, and you will be able to download all of the marketplace assets and use them in your game. But I did download many Mixamo animations, and I did that using the Mixamo converter by Terriblis Studio. So you download this Mixamo converter and you can just open it, and I already included it in this folder. Yeah, here it is. Mixamo converter, you open it, you put the animations you want to convert. Actually, first, before you download the animations, it comes with this SK mannequin for Mixamo. You're supposed to, this is only a model of the Unreal Engine mannequin. You want to upload it to Mixamo and preview the animations using it, and then you download your animations. And when you download them, you put them in the initial folder, you open the software, and then you just hit this button, which will convert them from the Mixamo animations skeleton to the Unreal Engine mannequin skeleton. And that way, you know, you will have them ready for Unreal Engine use. Also, there is one more thing. Where is it? For example, we have a walking animation, so let's just look for one. And I will show you one more thing you want to do. Wait, let me refresh because it doesn't preview if I minimize Mixamo. I don't know why. But anyway, when you add in a walking animation, for example, let's just look for a random one. Yeah, this one. So this is crouched walking. And what you want to do when you are downloading it is, since we are using root motion for this series, usually I tell you to download it in place And what that does is it just puts it random, like it just doesn't move the character. The animation just keeps the character in the same place and doesn't move them. What we want to do this time, since we are using root motion, is you want to just disable in place. And what that will do is it will just help your animation move your character. So it's going to be a root motion animation this way. And then you're going to hit download. You want to download it without the skin, and keyframe reduction should be uniform, and you just hit download, and that way you download all of your animations, you put them in the initial folder, and then you convert them using the Mixamo converter. You go to the complete folder then, and there should be all of your animations. I already put them in a folder over here called used, and yeah, these are the animations I'm going to be using. So let's get started with our project by importing our animations into Unreal Engine. So I'm just going to open the engine, and over here in the content browser, I'm just going to make it like docket, and then go to the content. And over here is where we want to put our animations. So I'm just going to create a brand new folder called animations, and I'm going to open it, and then we'll just get all of those, drag them in. Skeleton should be the mannequin skeleton, and just hit import all, and that will make them ready for the game, which is great. So you can actually, for example, get the walking animation, open it and preview it. So here we have the walking animation, and you can change the preview mesh to be whatever you want. So this is Maria, she's nude, I can't really zoom in on her, but it actually previews the animation on her. And if you have retargeted any characters, you can definitely use them as the preview mesh. I'm going to keep it to the female mannequin just for nudity's sake. So anyway, here is the animations. Now, since we are using root motion, we actually want to enable root motion in all of those animations. So I'm just going to hit shift and select them all. Whoops, I deselected them by accident. Anyway, I'm just going to right click, go to asset actions, bulk edit via property matrix, root motion, enable root motion, and the enable root motion, the root motion root lock. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it reference pose. So anyway, now that we have done that, what we want to do is we want to just, change the animations inside of the animation blueprint so that you can actually just display these animations. And there will be a problem because the default Unreal Engine animations do not use root motion. So we are just going to put them like, we're just going to make it work. So first of all, you want to go to third person BP, go to blueprints, third person character. And what happens in Unreal Engine at the moment is it gets the character. Yeah, actually, no, let's just not do that yet. So first of all, let's open the animation blueprint, and I will show you what the problem is. This is kind of a clone of my last tutorial, which was the easy root motion system, but I feel like I have to remake it for the series because, it's very important to use it. So anyway, we can just go to the animations folder, and here is the animation blueprint and the blend space. I'm actually going to move those to the animations folder. We don't need them to be over here. So we open the animation blueprint, and we have everything over here. So what happens right now is we get the velocity of the character, we get the vector length, and we set the speed. And then, once this happens, the animation isn't really what is moving the character. And for root motion, the animations are basically what move the character. So we are just going to be using an entirely different setup. If you have seen my previous tutorial, my last tutorial, you will definitely know what we are going to be doing. So first thing, we want to create a blend space with all of those animations that we have just imported. And after that, we are going to just put them in so that they can influence the movement of the character. Usually we influence the animations depending on the character's walking speed, but right now we want to do the opposite. We're going to influence the character's movement based on the animations. So we are just going to give it a try, and I will show you how it works. So you right click and add a new blend space. It's under the animations tab, blend space, Unreal Engine mannequin skeleton blend space, and I'm gonna call it unarmed blend space, or no, not unarmed, actually let's call it movement. And once you open it, there should be your character, and we have the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. So for now, let's make the maximum axis value to be 2 for both of them. So usually we put here the max walking speed, like for example, we go to the third person character movement, and look for walking speed. Yeah, max walk speed, you put it here, and you put whatever walking speed is for the walking, then 0 for the idle. Now for this one, we are going to be using something similar, but not really similar. You know, for these, the value is just huge, but for blend space, for root motion, you really don't need to do that. So first of all, let's add our idle animation. So we put in our idle over, where can I find it? Here it is, standing idle. We put it at 0. Oh, no, we haven't really adjusted anything yet. So let's actually do that. First of all, we have the horizontal axis. Now, the number of grid divisions, since we have only idle, running, and walking, we can just add only 3 grid divisions, and we can extend them later. But of course, for the sides, it will not be working because, you know, we need to place it in the middle. So maybe 4. Actually 3 for this one and 4 for this one. Yeah, like this. And then you put the idle animation at the 0. Also, the minimum should be same as the maximum, so -2. And for this one, also -2. Here we go. And now you can also still see that, you know, the 0 is not really a 0 for this one. So actually, let's just call this one side movement or side input. And for this one, we're going to call it forward input. And you might understand it right now, maybe a little bit, I don't know. But I'm actually going to delete the animation again. Also, the number of grid divisions, we want to change those to 4. Yeah, 4 I think is the best value for it. So anyway, when you do that, you just put in your idle animation, and you can see that the character is standing there, and you want to make sure that the location of this one is 0 on both, since it's the idle animation. And then we have the walking animation. So when this value, this number, whatever it is actually 1, we want the player to be able to walk. When it is -1, we want to walk backwards. So we're just going to put it for the idle. Here we go. And also the same thing for the running. So when it's 2, we want to run forward, and when it's not true, when it's -2, we want to run backward. So where is the running? Yeah, here it is. Here's the running forward. And the running backwards is even before the walking backwards. Also, we might just add the strafing. So the right strafe walk should be next to the 0, since you don't have to be walking forward to get this. And also the running for the right strafe should be at -2, 0. And for the left, it should also be something like that. So anyway, for the right and left, usually with root motion, I always get them mixed up, and sometimes I just have to flip them so that I can know which one is which, because it just doesn't really work that much. I don't know why, it just flips them when you are using root motion. So anyway, I do know why, but hey, I'm just not going to explain it that much. What else do we have? Do we have the diagonal animations? No, I don't think we do. Yeah, we can add them in another part. So anyway, now if we have saved this, we can actually wait. Before we leave, let's change the interpolation time, because interpolation will help the blend space blend between the animations. If it's 0, it will snap between them, but if you change the interpolation time, it will actually just make them a little bit smoother. So you just make it 0.4, and you should notice it a little bit. So anyway, I'm just gonna save, and we want this to play when the character is moving. So first of all, let's go to the character blueprint and go to the movement input. So this is where the character actually moves. We have get control rotation, break rotator, make rotator, get forward vector and right vector, and you add that to your movement input. Now all of this is actually garbage right now because we are using root motion, so I'm just going to select all of them and hit delete. Actually no, let's not hit delete, we are going to have to use them for the jumping, or we can just re-add them, no problem. So I just deleted them. And then we have both of those. Now we want this axis value to be what influences the number, which will change which blend space, this value as well. We have the walking speed in the character movement component. That one, we are not going to be using it at all, and it's garbage to us. So we are going to be creating our own variables for that. So the move forward axis value, we are going to promote it to a variable, and I'm just going to call it forward input. And the move right, we are also going to promote it to a variable, and I'm going to call this one side input. And I really hope that gives you an idea of what we're about to do. I think it should. So anyway, we have the set forward inputs and set side input. We can just compile and go to the, you definitely, when we are, this axis value is how much we are moving the analog stick forward, for example, if you are using a PlayStation controller. And we set this variable based on that constantly when we are moving. So when it's moved a little bit forward, it's going to be 0 point something. Then when it's all the way up, it's going to be 1. And then when you return it back to normal, it's going to be 0. So this is going to be what influences the blend space to choose between these animations. And, this way we are not actually moving the character at all. So the character will not be moving using this move forward and move right. And what's going to be moving the character is that these animations are root motion animations, and they actually move the player forward. So we definitely can just get into more detail with it, but let's actually work on the animation blueprint. Now the animation blueprint, I don't feel like we can actually use this since it has a lot of stuff. Actually, let us not use it. We are going to start with a brand new animation blueprint because this one just has way too many stuff and deleting them is just going to take time. So you go to animation, create a brand new animation blueprint, which is over here. Choose the Unreal Engine for mannequin skeleton. And for this one, I'm going to call it player anim BP and open it. Now when you open it, you should get the anim graph first. This is where you put in an animation that will be played at the by default. So we're going to get the movement blend space and put it here and connect it like this as a result, and it should play the idle animation. Now if you go back to your character and try to play the try to change the blend space, it should the actual idle animation should work, but the movement doesn't work, and that is because we didn't get these variables and put them connect them to these so that they are they tell the blend space which one to play. So anyway, let's go to the character, select the mesh, change the anim class to be the player anim BP, and you can see that, oh my god, her boobs. Anyway, you can see that the character just stands in the brand new animation blueprint. Now I am playing the old animation blueprint on all of the meshes we have. So for example, the pants, we can just change it also, and the shirt. And we might actually set up an armor system using this, but we can just get into that later. For now, we are only going to set up the basic stuff for our game. So anyway, we have done that, and you can see that the new idle animation looks much better. But if you try walking, there's just nothing inside of the, there's just nothing that will allow the player to work because we deleted the input for it, and there's just not, this one is still not being taken to the animation like to the blend space so that it chooses an animation. So anyway, we should go back to the animations folder and go to the both the animation and the blend space. We want to keep them open at all times while we are doing this. Anyway, we can just go to the event graph and you can see that it is quite empty. So this event blueprint update animation is actually the event tick of the animation blueprint basically. So first thing we want to do is we want to check is valid. Now I'm not going to explain this yet, but yeah, actually let's just do this. And we also want a begin play, so just event blueprint begin play. From this one we are going to cast to the player character. You know, it's not called the player character, it's called the third person character. The object, I think you can just use this one if you want to. Try get pawn owner. Yeah, it lets us do that. And then we are going to promote this one to a variable so that we can just use the, like this one is actually the reference. So the variable, I'm just going to call it character, and we can get the other variables from it, like any variable inside of the character, we can actually get it using this variable. So you put it over here, for example, you get forward input, and tada, that actually gives us the variable. We are also going to get the side input. And one more thing we want to do is we want to, like, this is valid, we'll check if the character is actually inside of the level, so that, you know, it just checks and makes sure that the character is there, so that it doesn't do this automatically, because, you know, it just causes an error. It's not really like super important, but yeah, it just causes an error and it doesn't really affect the gameplay as long as the character is there. But anyway, you want to just promote both of those two variables inside of the animation blueprint. So now we are just constantly getting those from the character blueprint, and we are checking for the input and just connect them to isValid and compile. Now there is one more thing. Yeah, we need to actually connect them to the blend space. So the forward input should be over here. Just connect it like this. Whoops, there's something wrong with my Microsoft account. Anyway, we can just get both of them, connect them, and compile. Now it will actually not work, despite the fact that everything we have done, you know, it just doesn't move the character at all. So what we want to do is we want to go back to our animation blueprint, and there is one more thing we need to do is the root motion system over here in the details panel. You can just go there and choose root motion from everything, and that way it should actually work. However, there is one more thing, and it is that you know, it just sorry, I couldn't talk anymore. Anyway, yeah, if you cannot really see this one, you have to close the animation blueprint and reopen it, and it should, like, you should be able to see it. Anyway, we can just close this and give it a try, and you can see that it actually works. There's something wrong with the diagonals, but there's no problem with that, I guess. You know, there are diagonal animations in Mixamo, so you can actually just go there and give them a try. I don't think we have any for walking, it's only for running, which is a problem. But anyway, I think I put them, like I told you, I always get these mixed up, so I'm just gonna replace them like this. And I think that should just fix it. Yeah, it does get fixed. Now, I do have diagonal running animations, but I'm not sure they're going to be useful yet. Anyway, let's not focus on that. Now, since we have added the walking, we can either work on the rotation or on the running. What should we do? In my last tutorial, I actually showed the whole thing, but this time it actually took a lot more time. I don't know why, maybe I explained it more. But anyway, we are going to just, yeah, let's set up the rotation, and in the next video, we can like work on the running and the sprinting. So for now, what we want to do is we want to set the character's rotation so that when you rotate the camera and move, she will turn to be where the camera is. you know, it's definitely essential because there are no games that don't let you turn your character. You know, that just wouldn't work, especially if the camera is like controlled by the player. So we are gonna have to do that. However, I think I do know why the running animations actually play. I made a mistake. So the actual right strafe for Unreal Engine 4, I think we need to put it over here, and the left strafe as well, so that, you know, you just cannot really, yeah, it's definitely better this way. And it even makes the diagonal animations look much better, despite the fact that we do not have any diagonals. So yeah, I really like this. Anyway, now we are going to work on the rotation. Now to get started with the rotation, we are going to go back to our player character, and for this we are going to go to the event begin play. Actually, let's clean up a little bit. So the VR stuff, we don't need it. The gamepad input, we also, let's just put it over there. The mouse input, we do need it, so we're going to put it over here. The jump, we're not going to use it yet. We're just going to make a separate video for that. The touch input, we do not need it. So anyway, we should get an event tick. And we want to set the actor's rotation of the actual character. So just out of the event tick, set actor rotation. And basically what we want to do now is we want to be able to get the characters, like the camera's rotation. So, and you know, just plug it here. So what we are going to do is we are going to get actor rotation of the same character. And then we are going to get control rotation, which is basically the camera's rotation or the controller's rotation. And then we are just going to rInterp to. The target is going to be the control rotation, and the delta time, you can just put it over here to be the event tick. Now what this will do is it will basically just create this value that will smoothly, or you know, wait I don't know how to say this, but anyway, we want to get the actor's rotation and the control's rotation. I mean, the actor's rotation is the current, we want to change it to be the control's rotation, and we do that using the delta time. The interp speed is how fast the actor's rotation is going to be the control rotation. So I think I can do that, I don't know, maybe 6 or something. So 6 is fine, 6.0. And the return value, you can actually split this and split this. And the Z just connected to the Z because we only want to rotate the Z axis. Now, what else do we need? We actually need to check if we are actually moving. So the way we do that is basically you can just, I don't know. Yeah, we get, wait, let's actually make a branch. So we start checking using the branch. And the condition, we can try several things. For the actual like previous video that I did, I actually got the velocity and the vector length and checked if it's greater than 10, and then used the branch to determine that. But we can just get the forward input and the side input and see if that will actually work. So we can check if they are not equal to 0. So just look for not equal. And connect both of them. Oh, we really can't connect both of them, so we can just get and boolean. And that way we can actually connect two conditions, because and boolean actually lets you connect both of them. Or, you know, instead of and, we can actually use or boolean. So if either of them, you know, we're not going to be waiting for both of them to be like this. We can just check if either of those is not equal to 0, then we are going to play, like, we're going to rotate the character. And I think that should be fine. Let's give it a try and see if it's going to work. So we play, we rotate, we move, And you can see that the movement, the rotation actually works, which is great. So yeah, this way it's no longer a carbon copy of my previous video. And I think it looks really nice. So yeah, it's a nice result. It's definitely much better than not using rote motion like my previous series did. But yeah, now I'm very used to rote motion. I'm very comfortable with it because I'm making my own RPG using it. So yeah, look forward to my game anyway. But yeah, I'm not really revealing that anytime soon anyway. But yeah, there is one more thing I want to do, and that is that I want to go to the third person character, go to the mesh, and move her down a little bit because she is way too high above the ground. You know, that's the price we pay for using the Mixamo converter. But anyway, you can see that she is walking on the ground right now, and the movement is much smoother and better using root motion, so it's definitely worth it. So that was it for this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new to my channel. And another reminder, if you want to get the project files and you want to get 5 videos ahead of us, then go check out my Patreon because that place has 5 videos ahead. So I will see you in the next time. Take care, have a great day, and bye.